Hi, I'm Alex Koloskov from photog.com. Today I'll be talking about strobe, and it's not a studio strobe, it's a battery-powered Profoto B1 AirTTL strobe. Many thanks b&hphotovideo.com for providing me with those two strobes. B&H is the best online store for photographers in US. And I had those strobes for about a month or so, and I've been testing them inside and outside of the studio. So, first of all, this is battery-powered strobe, okay? This is battery-powered strobe, relatively huge lithium battery, which can power this strobe for up to 220 full power pops, which is kind of cool. 220 at 500 watt second, maximum 500 watt second you can get from this. And we've been doing this shot on KLB1 worldwide photo walk with two of these Profotos. And well, they last more than 2 hours of, well, almost constant shooting at a relatively high power level because it was sunny day. I was using ND filter, and it was other photographers, you know, with switching with strobes and shooting constantly. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good range which you can run those strobes. In studio, well, 200 from one battery, maybe not enough for a relatively long shot. So you may think about getting spare batteries, 2 or 3. To run it in the studio, because you can power this strobe only with a battery. And here is a charger. You cannot charge battery and run strobe in same time. You need to replace batteries. It would be really cool though if we can run this from AC power if needed. It would be just, you know, ultimate strobe. You can run on battery or you can run on AC power, but it's probably, well, I understand that it's not the best solution for manufacturer-wise. So, let's turn it on. You press test button, and it powers the strobe. Knob regulates the power, especially if it's on manual mode. There is sync air, meaning that it's connected to this Profoto transmitter, which you mount on the camera. There are transmitters for Nikon and Canon. I got a Canon one. And basically it runs like a huge speed light. Okay, it's like a huge speed light, which, well, camera measures the light and tells the strobe how much light needed for a particular shot during the shot on TTL mode. So it works awesome outside. You've seen many reviews probably when people were using it outside for some fashion shots. It's great. You don't care about, you know, where sun is. Well, many things which we use to calculate, you know, balancing the ambient light and the strobe. With this, it's easy. You can just simply dial plus and minus compensation, exposure compensation for the strobe, and well, that's it. Same thing as you do with speed light. However, this is not what I was really interested in to test, because I don't shoot that much outside. What I do, I shoot a lot in studio, and many of my shots is with liquid, with high-speed action type of shooting. And this is really good strobe for this, because it has really short flash duration. As you can guess, same as speed lights, you can squeeze really short flash duration from it. By specification, it runs up to 1/19,000 of a second T.5 time, which it's great. It's really short on minimum power level, and minimum power level is 2 watt second. So 2 watt second probably is not really useful. Maximum power is 500 watt second, and I run a test right in the studio with, as usual, with real stuff, with real splashes. I was getting that kind of shots. Be with me 1 more minute, and you'll see how at different power levels it able or not able to freeze action. Okay. Right now, let me kind of tell you about controls. So we have sync. You press sync. You can turn it into a slave mode, meaning that it's not really connecting. No, it does. Oh, yeah, we have one more. Here, this is on, and it fires, and it fires this as a slave, but it's not connected to transceiver. Okay, it just like act as just a slave, which triggered by the light. Okay, when you change to air, it connects to the receiver, transceiver. Sorry, transmitter. Come on. And with transmitter, there are TTL mode, okay, or manual mode. On TTL mode, it runs as a speed light. On a manual mode, when we set the mode to manual, it's again TTL, so manual mode, I can either adjust power here, okay, this is maximum, all the way to 2 watt second, or I can adjust here, dialing it plus whatever 1/10 of a f-stop, and dial down. You see it adjusts. One of the coolest thing, LED modeling light, which is really power efficient. It can be free, meaning that you can set independently from the power, or you can always set it to prop, where it will be adjusted based on the power. Okay. Well, great feature. LED, it's cold, and it can last for a really long time. By the way, there is a fan inside. I can hear it, and I never had Profoto B1 to be too hot. Okay, it was always relatively cold, even when shooting at rapid pace. What else? Cool. There is connector here, a little connector where you can connect just any trigger. Like in studio, I was not using this. For example, when I shoot with Hasselblad, I was using just regular Pocket Wizard, and it just runs as normal studio strobe. What else it can do? It has that mode where it can support rapid shooting, meaning that if your continuous shooting rate is higher than strobe can recharge, it still will shoot. Okay, let's try. So you see, it's it supports that higher the burst rate even without fully charging. Again, it's kind of cool feature. Now let's see how does Profoto B1 AirTTL good in studio in freezing action. And now, as usual, I'll be doing my splashy test. We'll do a little bit mess in the studio, just to see in real life situation, can they freeze and at what power level they can freeze action. Because this kind of strobes, digital strobes, what I call them digital, same as speed lights, they have shortest flash duration at minimal power, and flash duration gets increased when we increase power level. Okay? And Profoto B1 has two modes, normal mode and freeze mode. On a normal mode, Profoto tries to preserve color temperature across all the range of power settings. On a freeze mode, it tries to squeeze the shortest flash duration at given power level. So this is what we're interested on, okay? I changed settings to be in freeze mode, and the setup is pretty much simple, and like I said, it's now it's common lighting setup for all that kind of shots. I have two lights. One is here on top of this glass, and another light, exactly the same Profoto B1, as behind this plastic, which is translucent white plastic. And the lighting setup is pretty much common for, well, simple splash shot, because you shoot glass. When you shoot glass and some kind of transparent liquid, we need the light behind, right? Because we see through the glass. And this is our main light, which is on the background. And this light is to create little sparkles here and there when we'll have a splash going on. Because without it, it will be just a little bit too dark and too dull kind of look. Okay? And as usual, I'll be dropping artificial ice into that glass. I was actually thinking to drop some strawberries, but they didn't really look nice, so Okay? And this artificial eyes is great thing for any product photographer. It comes from Trend Grow Studios. Not sure. The link is on 40G under this post. So you can always rent it or buy it. It's great stuff. Now, we'll start from maximum power settings. Okay? Because this is where I suppose it won't be able to freeze action, because by specification, Profoto at maximum power settings has 1,000 of a second T.5 flash duration time, which, based on my experience, is not enough to freeze that kind of splash. Okay? And I'm going to trigger this Profoto with regular kind of common trigger, Pocket Wizard, 1/200 of a second shutter speed, f45. Yeah, we'll start with closed aperture because it will be maximum power settings, and well, 1000 watt second, it's a lot. So I'm closing aperture, and then I'm going to open it, compensating the drop of power when I'll be adjusting power level of those strobes. Okay? So manual trigger as usual, and let's see. 3, 2, 1. Whew! Nice. Let's examine what we got. And well, you see motion blur, right? At least I see motion blur. That kind of things, it's a motion blur, and it's quite visible. However, I can tell you that it looks pretty damn good, even at the maximum power power level. 1,000 of a second T.5 time is not enough to freeze action. However, that motion blur I see, it's not really bright, those trails, motion trails, because it looks like the most of the impulse from the strobe gets released in relatively short time, and the tail is long, of course, 1,000 of a second. So let me lower the power 1 f-stop on both specs, or on both heads. Okay. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Let's do one more. Okay. You see it, right? Well, this is already pretty damn good. Right? At 250 watt second, this is not bad at all. So let me lower one more. One more. Oh man. So what do I see? I see really good result. At 125 watt second, it freezes the splash. There is a little bit here and there. Well, most likely maybe it's from f45. Let's do this with a little bit open aperture. Okay. I set it to f29. Oops. That's cool. So, perfect. Let me summarize what I learned, what I liked, what I didn't like about this B1 Air TTL Profoto light. It's portable. It's not large. It's not getting hot. It's really cool. Flash duration, really short flash duration, which is big plus if you shoot high-speed action things. Relatively good power. For that size, 500 watt second on a battery, it's good. It's good power. Then it has TTL, big plus if you shoot outside, right? If you need to balance ambient. Then constant color mode, freeze action mode. First time I've seen this at Einstein, policy buff Einstein. It had color mode, constant color, and action mode. And I said, well, this is cool. You kind of can switch between, consistent color consistency and short flash duration. Same thing here. So it's awesome. Okay, and Profoto light modifier I listed as one of the pluses because, well, it has nothing to do with this particular Profoto, all Profoto like this. But let me tell you about light modifiers. By the way, it comes with this nice bag where you can fit your light, you can fit charger, spare batteries, and it will be still room for some stuff. And it's cool. It has handle. I kind of really like it, especially on a location. About light modifiers and actually the mounting flange and how it works. This is how it's on Profoto. Okay, Profoto is new to me. I was using policy buff and then broncolor, but I can tell you that this idea of having no special kind of brackets, nothing, it just goes like this on the tube and then closing down like this. It's pretty cool. It's really sits on the place. It seals it, which is kind of cool too. You can do like zoom-in heads. There are zoom-in heads, let's say with broncolor, where you kind of move a knob. Is it zoom-in head I have here? Yeah, like for example this one. This is zoom-in head on broncolor, right? You rotate this and the head moves the light inside. With Profoto, it's not needed because you can have, let's say, like this one, like this zoom reflector. You just run it on a different number, and basically it changes. There is even light diagram, well, little diagram. It changed the zoom, and it's cool. It's kind of built in on any Profoto unit, which is really nice. I like it. Okay. So mounts, this is how Profoto, right? This is how it works on Profoto. It may be a little bit, sometimes you need to spend extra force, to pull it away, but it works really well. This is how it works on broncolor. Let me show you, just so you compare. Okay, you see, two flanges here on broncolor, two things here. You connect it, you lock, and then there is no way you can detach it. It just locks. You need to unlock it with this. This is how it's on broncolor. Again, I really like this. This is cool. And third way to connect light modifier, in my experience, and what actually it was first, I was Einstein or any policy buff light. This is the worst thing. Well, I love policy buff stuff, but I think the way that they designed connectors, it's probably could be better, really, because especially with the Einstein, this is beautiful light. And while it's not really bad, it sits well. It was not as good as this. It was some issues on previous models, but now it's good. But still, there are little light spill can be coming on, and well, it's not as secure. Okay, this is how it looks. Well, by the way, this is good. This is relatively good, but you see what happens when, let's say you have big light modifier and it gets heavy. There is a gap. Now it has some gap and it moves a little bit, and light is spilling and things like this. So with Profoto, nothing like this can happen. It's solid like a tank. Well, there is no way you can easily move this. Okay? And what about things which I didn't like? Basically, it was only one thing: is a battery. Battery can run out of juice pretty fast, especially when you're not aware that it ran out. There is no special beeps or some indication that this kind of battery is going to begun soon. So when you shoot, you hear those beeps, it looks okay, and then they stop beeping, meaning it's dead. If you don't have battery, it's gone. And this is what Chris McCaskill, co-founder, co-owner of smugmug.com. This is the best online hosting and sharing website for photographer. I'm sure you know it if you are a photographer. If not, check it out. It's smugmug.com. This is what he said about his experience with these Profoto monolights. He was using them on a Halloween night shot, and well, take a look.
Well, I dreamed about these lights for a long time because I saw a video that Profoto showed of mountain bikers in a quarry in Italy. It's fantastic. So I thought, wow, TTL and battery powered. I need that and a lot of power. So I wish I had a shoot like that to do, but I had a studio shoot on Halloween on my driveway with 1,000 trick-or-treaters coming by, and I shot a lot of photos. So I used the Profotos there. They were great until they ran out of batteries. They were powerful enough, and the quality of light was great, very convenient. The build quality was spectacular and everything, and I loved having them integrated in all one unit with no cables or anything like that. But the problem was that I ran out of batteries. So first one light died, and so I went looking for a power cord to plug it in, and there's no power cord for them. You have to charge the battery. And so then I was counting down the flashes till the other one died, and then it did die, and so I was down to, it was a 3-light setup, and the rest of the night I had 1 light.
You've been using them on slave mode, right? As well, no TTL?
Yeah, so I used them on slave mode. I was a little worried about TTL. I would love TTL for action. If I could use these lights, you know, for mountain bikers in Moab, Utah or something like that, I would just die for them. But in my particular case, it was a studio, so I was using them as slaves, and they were being triggered off the main light. The reason I didn't use TTL in the studio is there were a lot of people in black Halloween costumes and white Halloween costumes, and it reminded me of a wedding where the camera itself would judge that black to be gray, or it would judge the white to be gray. So the black costumes would be overexposed, the white costumes would be underexposed, and you couldn't really get a white costume and a black costume, which is what I wanted. So I had a controlled circumstance. I just used manual, and that was fine.
Okay, this is it. If you like studio photography, if you want to be first who will get our next videos, subscribe to 40G channel and go to www.40g.com to see, well, this beautiful world of studio photography. Have many cool things there. I'm sure you'll love them. And well, see you next time. It was Alex Koloskov. Bye.